Hey everyone, I wanted to do a little review and read through of two of these great bedtime stories. The first one is it's called Dragon Post, and this one's really nice. It teaches about friendship, responsibility, and community, and it has 5 pull-out letters that the kids can have fun reading. And then Once Upon a Timely is a nice bedtime story that uses a lot of adverbs, and so I will start with Dragon Post. One day I found a dragon. I hoped it would stay. I'd always wanted a dragon. But this little dragon looked like it might set fire to the house, so I did the obvious thing. I wrote to the fire brigade. They would know what to do. Finally, I got a letter back. I dried it off and opened it up. Dear Alex, good news. Goodness me, a baby dragon in your house? Crikey, it must be lost. As well as being really scary, dragons are a serious fire hazard, especially young dragons. If you have to keep it, and I really think you should not, then make sure it is moist at all times. You never know when it might erupt into flames. Golly, just thinking about it is bringing me out in a sweat. Hang on. Phew, I just had to dunk myself in a bucket of cold water to calm down. I suggest you do the same with the dragon. Douse it in water right away. Yours frightfully, Henry Drant. P.S. Crikey. So I did as I was told. The dragon loved it, I could tell. Later, we were hungry. I made my best jam sandwiches. The dragon was not a fan, but I knew just who to ask about dragon food. I got a speedy reply. Dear Alex, your dragon sounds delicious. I bet it would taste marvelous with potatoes, peas, and carrots. I'm not surprised your dragon didn't like the jam sandwiches. Dragons eat meat. Lots of meat. Because your dragon is so young, it will still have lots of growing to do, so you should fatten it up with some juicy meat. Please find our latest meaty offerings on the back of this letter. I wonder if I could meet your dragon at your earliest convenience. Perhaps I could have your dragon over for dinner. I suppose you could come too if you have to. My tummy is already rumbling. Look forward to meeting your dragon. All the very best, Mr. Angus Teak. And nice to meet yours, butchers. That day the dragon ate 23 steaks, 10 hams, and half of my umbrella. His thank you roars were very loud. Maybe a bit too loud. I opened the letter very carefully. Dear Master Alexander of Draco Way, we are writing you as legal representatives for your neighbor, Mrs. Arabelle Smirk. We must complain in the strongest possible terms about the heat, smoke, and most importantly, terrifying roaring coming from your home. Our client is not sure what you are up to, but it must be something very naughty, and whatever it is, she wholeheartedly does not approve. It is so noisy that it is upsetting her rock collection and making her potted plants sad. Our client does not like this very much. Please take steps to correct this problem as soon as possible. Understand that if you do not, we will be taking further action. Yours legally, Petra Dantic, P. Nickety. We said sorry to next door, and my dragon tried to be quiet, but it's hard when you're growing so big in such a little house. We needed professional help. I wrote another letter. The reply arrived just in time. Who's this from? Dear Alex, thank you very much for your letter. How exciting to have such a rare and endangered species living with you. Everyone here at World Animal Welfare is very jealous. We hope that your home is large enough to accommodate this young dragon. Dragons can grow very big, very quickly indeed. We recommend a large property, perhaps a castle. It is important that your dragon has enough room to move around freely. We think he may be suffering from cramped indoors invitus, which can be terrible. We prescribe that you take your dragon for one flight every day. Working together, we can protect the world animal kingdom. Yours wildly, Bernard East. P.S. Sorry about the bite marks. A tiger has just paid us an unexpected visit. So when the world was fast asleep, we crept outside and soared into the sky. We were happy together. I loved my dragon, and I wished he could stay forever, but I don't think dragons are made to be pets. I wasn't sure what to do, so I wrote to the wisest person I knew. She wrote back straight away. Alex's dragon. To Alex, wow, a dragon? That is so exciting. He sounds the best. Dragons are my favorite after unicorns. Oh dear, it does sound like your dragon is very big and your house is only normal sized. He really can't live with you forever. He needs to find his own place with plenty of room to flap about. If I were a dragon, I would want to be free. Maybe he should live somewhere a bit more like this. As much as you love your dragon, it might be time to let him go. Love from your best friend, Hillary. P.S. Give your dragon a pat on the head and an iced bun from me. I showed my dragon the letter, and he beamed and sparkled. We spent a final day together. We didn't want to say goodbye, but we knew it was right. I missed my dragon. I would never forget him. I hoped he would never forget me. Then one day I got some post, and it was Dragon Post. The end. Once upon a timely. I love you flowingly like Rapunzel's hair. I love you observantly like the baby bear. I love you sweetly like Hansel and Gretel. I love you unbreakably like Excalibur's metal. I love you spellbindingly like Merlin the wizard. I love you extraordinarily like the Snow Queen's blizzard. I love you sensitively like the Princess and the Pea. I love you practically like pig number 3. I love you luminously like Little Red's cape. I love you daringly like Thumbelina's escape. I love you transformatively like the frog princess in the pond. I love you magically like the fairy godmother's wand. I love you truly like Robin Hood's aim. I love you uniquely like Rumpelstiltskin's name. I love you wonderfully like Alice's land. I love you promisingly like the beans in Jack's hand. I love you genuinely like Geppetto's boy. I love you beautifully like the beast's hard-won joy. I love you humbly like the duckling turned swan. I love you unforgettably like the Little Mermaid's song. I love you invisibly like the emperor's new clothes. I love you enchantedly like Sleeping Beauty's repose. I love you triumphantly like Sailor Sinbad's success. I love you wishfully like Aladdin's requests. I love you heartily like the red hen's flower. I love you imposingly like the Bremen town tower. I love you confidently like the gingerbread man. I love you lightheartedly like Peter Pan. I love you brilliantly like Tinker Bell's twinkle. I love you restfully like Rip Van Winkle. I love you invariably like Mulan's might. I love you purely like Snow White. I love you nimbly like Puss in Boots. I love you invitingly like Pied Piper's flute. I love you helpfully like the elves making shoes. I love you ingenuously like the billy goat's ruse. I love you toweringly like a castle spire. I love you glowingly like a dragon's fire. I love you courageously like a knight defending. I love you satisfyingly like a happy ending. I love that it's a little girl night. I love you indefinitely like the printed word. I love you memorably like stories spoken and heard. I love you everlastingly once upon a time. I love to read with you beside me. The end. And remember, you can purchase any of these books through the link on my website.